Hi everybody, I'm Jack Jinseki, and joining me today is Ember's Tale.
Hello.
So, Ember, what kind of content do you like to make?
I usually stream visual novels and RPGs and stuff like that, even though I'm not the best at them.
Mm-hmm.
I started playing horror games recently, which, oh boy, I'm not having fun with that.
I've actually done kind of something similar with my time. I used to, uh, on a different area, I would play those old adventure games, the point and click adventure games.
Those are fun.
Oh, I love those. Uh,
I gotta get into them. I wanted to play plug-in plays, but I don't have a way to play them. Gotta figure that out.
plug and plays. What are those?
Basically, you know those game controllers that you could plug into TVs and games would boot up from them?
Oh, right. Yes, I had one of those.
I had My Little Pet Shop and a SpongeBob one.
Oh. I I only ever got one. It was like Space Invaders, and it had a few other games that nobody had ever heard of.
The SpongeBob one was a mini game, and they put the nose in the middle as the controller, and it's kind of, if you think about it, a little inappropriate the way it looks, but funny.
You know, now that you're saying it, yeah, I can certainly see that. So what made you want to be a VTuber?
Well, I was sort of bored, and I was streaming Faceless for a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to audition for a company. I talked to you about the company before, Hero Factory. That's now in deep water.
Yes.
But I got rejected and decided to just start. I was told, since I have ADHD, and you know how ADHD is, once you get hyperfixated on something, if you stop, you'll stop doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was told to just start streaming again to see if I was interested.
Hmm. I
And I got a model in a few weeks.
Oh,
Well,
cool.
commissioned someone.
Cool. So, what was the process for creating your character?
Well, this is my rebrand character. It was a little different than my first character. My
Ah,
first
yes.
character, I went all out. Um I created a character. I got a character sheets because I had two models. I did the whole Google Doc to
Mm-hmm.
have the different stuff. This time, I did it much simpler. I just stated I want this, this, and this in the artist's DM, the
Mm-hmm.
person who created it originally, and they're like, "Sure, I'll do it." And then I just have a drawing of it, and now I go off of that.
Mm. I actually, to create my character, I actually did the Google Doc. I can speak. Google Doc. I did the Google Doc too. The what's the phrase they use for it? Like a a something board, a dream board, or whatever.
Character board?
Yeah, something like that with pictures and stuff like that. One of the pictures, what was interestingly enough, Rocky. I'm
Oh my
not.
god.
I'm not gonna go into how that ended up there. Uh, uh, so, do you have any lore for this character?
I have simple lore compared to the previous.
Mm.
Uh, Basically, I'm the god of imagination. I am non-binary, even though the female, uh, even though the character I'm playing is female. I wanted some representation, so instead of saying goddess, I say god,
Mm-hmm.
which is subtle but simple.
Mm-hmm.
And that I was created from the dreams and aspirations of cats and humans.
Okay.
I like cats.
Nice. Do you have cats?
I have 3
Nice.
at home.
I used to not be a huge fan of cats because they kind of made me nervous a little bit, but over time all of my friends seem to have cats, and so I've had to learn to adjust to them.
Oh, that's amazing.
So, what's your favorite accomplishment of your channel so far?
I recently reached 400 subscribers.
Hey,
Followers.
congratulations.
Followers. I should say followers. I don't have that many subscribers.
Uh, the, the terminology is so confused.
Especially since it's switched on YouTube and Twitch.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, because it's subscribers on YouTube and followers on Twitch. So I get confused sometimes.
Yeah. So what do they call the pay? Oh, they're called members on YouTube. Yeah.
Yes.
Who knows? It's a little.
It's confusing.
It's confusing. So, what's been the biggest change to your channel since you've started VTubing?
Besides the rebranding, is definitely becoming a VTuber. Because I started out faceless on Mixer for a few weeks, and then I stopped. Because I got busy with life and stuff like that. And then I started again, and I'm sorry for the wonky eyes.
Oh no, don't worry about
model.
it. If you need to take a moment, I can always edit this out.
No, it's fine. It makes it funny. But definitely becoming a VTuber is a big change because it costs a lot of money and you have to stick to it. I stick to it for like a year with my original model till shit hit the fan with the artist of the female model. And that's when I decided to rebrand because yes, I did a call-up post on about the artist for the female model. I took it down per the artist's request because I messed up. The artist, the character was I paid for full body. I did not get full body. It was missing the lower part of the legs, or upper, I can't remember, and teeth and tongue, so she couldn't talk.
Wow.
When I finally got the artist's attention after not responding a bit, she finally said that I would have to pay for teeth and tongue. And legs. Because it was not told beforehand that the legs were not going to be there.
So the artist said, "Oh, well, you're paying for a full body. Well, I'll give you the full body, but you'll have to pay extra for legs."
Yes. Because I was thinking about getting extra outfits in the future, and they jokingly said, "Well, I guess I have to add legs now."
It's
like
I've heard so many stories about artists. I've been extremely fortunate in that I've had very good artists so far.
I mean, the art quality wasn't up to the standards I was shown to.
Yeah.
And by the time I realized it, I have ADHD and autism. I'm not going to be the most observant person when it comes to certain things, and this is not one of them.
Yeah.
As you can tell, I've gotten better because of this model. The artist did an amazing job on this.
Yes.
And the rigging. Even though the eyes are a little wonky, I still need to adjust that. It was my first ever model I commissioned, and I basically got screwed over.
Yeah.
Without realizing it. And by the time I realized, I've been using her for like a year, and like there's no way to get a refund even if I wanted to.
Yeah.
It just sucks.
Yeah. So, what do you hope to accomplish through your channel?
I always dreamed about dancing and singing on stage,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't because I have a what I considered it's not really considered disability, but it's definitely disabilitating. I believe that's the correct word.
Uh, okay. So, do you hope to have a one of those full 3D
3D
models?
models, yeah.
Nice.
I want to get one of the ones that definitely like show everything correctly but also look really good.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are really good artists, but a lot of them are like 1K to 10K dollars. And like, I don't have that money.
Ooh. Yeah. I'm I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna have to update from a PNG at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering how much that's gonna cost me.
You just have to look at the right places. Like
Yeah.
for my main model, it's not done. It costs like $310,
Mm.
which is a lot cheaper than other places.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely recommend continue looking before spending the money and find the artist you like that doesn't cost too much.
Mm. So, who is your favorite VTuber and why?
Ooh. My friend named Oppo. That's not their full username. I'm trying to think of their full username. I usually only call them Oppo.
Hmm.
Opossier. There we go.
Mm.
They're a PNG tuber like you,
Mm-hmm.
but I really appreciate them and like I never really looked up to anybody else besides them.
Hmm.
I met them through Hero Factory. Everything, of course, comes back to it.
uh, so, it's your ideal stream. Who are you inviting?
Ooh, that's a good question. Definitely Doki Bird,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm usually quiet.
Mm-hmm.
So having somebody that energetic to bounce off of would definitely be fun.
Yeah.
Of course, I would suck at any shooter game she would pick, but I'm not good at shooters.
Yeah. Don't feel bad. Neither am I. Uh, what advice would you give to someone who wants to be an entertainer?
Entertainer in general, or
Uh, take it wherever you like. VTuber, entertainer, in general.
well, if you're going to college for entertainment, like theater and stuff like that, I'd say definitely keep going, even though the money's gonna be expensive. Same goes with VTubing, but it's gonna be worth it for the connections you're gonna make.
Did you go to college for?
I did not go to college, but I learned about the stuff through other people
Gotcha.
who did.
Mm-hmm.
And for VTubing, when you're starting out, definitely start out, if unless you have the money, start out as a faceless or a PNG tuber,
Mm.
and then work your way up to a VTuber when you have the money.
Oh, when you started out as a faceless, did you have like an icon that you used?
I did not. I started out completely blank, like
Wow.
Manly Badass Hero,
Hmm.
one of my favorite YouTubers actually. So
Hmm.
I wanted to be myself without any judgment.
Of course. What was the first anime you ever watched, and what drew you to it?
First one, I got two answers for that. I have first anime movie, which was an art class.
Mm-hmm.
They just played it in an art class. I'm like, ooh, this is pretty. I want to watch it with Ponyo.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one was Pokemon
Mm-hmm.
and or Yu-Gi-Oh. I can't remember which.
Mm.
And my brother was watching, and I just wanted to follow my brother and do what he did.
Yeah.
We don't have the best relationship now, but
Yeah. Do you have do you consider one of those to be like your spiritual first anime?
uh, I definitely remember Pokemon more than Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah. So, if you could go to an anime convention tomorrow, whom would you cosplay as?
Ooh, definitely. Actually, as myself, because I plan on doing that.
Hmm.
I just wish it could happen as a snap of the fingers that everything was created.
Mm. So, which game did you have the most fun playing on stream?
Hmm. As of recent, actually, my street, not my street. That's a Minecraft roleplay.
Mm-hmm.
I meant to say my side, the horror
Oh,
game.
yes.
Except for the horror aspect, I really enjoyed it. I did not expect the ending.
What is, if you don't mind me asking, what is the horror aspect of it? Because this is a game that I've heard of a lot, and
Weeping angels and PT corners, like hallways.
okay, so if you don't look at her, she creeps up on you or something?
Yep, very. Some of them are very fast.
Gotcha.
I did not like the weeping angel segment at all.
I'm like, I got that reference. um,
Yep.
so, which, which games are you looking forward to?
Um, I wasn't originally looking forward to it, but um, definitely the new Monster Hunter game.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I look forward to it is because a friend passed away recently, and he was really, really into Monster Hunter. And so I want to play it in his memory.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Mm.
Uh, so,
Also, Room Factory.
so, your friends just dropped in to play video games. What are you playing?
Definitely Baldur's Gate.
Hmm. Do you have a long history with that game?
No, I just recently started playing it after the friend's passing because it was another one of their favorite games, and then I just got addicted to it.
Gotcha. So, this is the part in the interview where I like to ask slightly more random questions. Uh,
Mm,
so, which do you prefer, Elvis or the Beatles?
Beatles. Though my grandmother loved Elvis.
Mm. Do you have any favorite songs from the Beatles?
I can't remember. It's been a while since I listened to them.
Okay, then, do you prefer their earlier work or their later work?
I prefer all their work, actually.
Mm.
I like most music, except for rapping. I'm not a big fan of mainstream media rapping.
Yeah.
Vocaloid rapping, I like.
Mm-hmm. So, do you have any favorite genres?
Music?
Yeah.
My favorite is definitely pop, but
Mm-hmm.
it's mostly Vocaloid
Mm.
pop in the songs I grew up with.
Nice. Yeah, my favorites are all the songs I grew up with too. Unfortunately, all the songs I grew up with were from the '60s through '80s. So,
I got lucky. I grew up with pop, rock and roll, thanks to my dad, and country, thanks to my mom.
nice. So, You're on a boat with friends. What artist are you listening to?
Hmm. Let me see if I can look up his name because I can't remember his name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bad at my remembering names.
Hmm.
No, I don't want to look at the Titanic. Oh my god. Probably Deco 27.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy his music.
And what does he do?
He creates different Vocaloid music.
Oh.
A lot of Vocaloid songs have recently been very sexual, I would say, but like it's in Japanese. Most people won't understand it from where I'm from,
Yeah.
so it's fine.
If you can't understand what they're saying, then it can't be that bad. uh,
Obviously.
so, what's a good movie to watch on a Sunday afternoon?
My pick is always the Phantom of the Opera.
Hmm.
I originally was a Phantom of the Opera VTuber,
Mm-hmm.
but I've changed as you can see. No mask.
Mm. Do you like musicals, opera, that kind of thing?
I do. I want to go see an opera one of these days.
Yeah, I've been to New York City, but I never actually saw a play there.
Ah, you should. It's really pretty.
Yeah, my sister-in-law is a person who works a lot on Broadway, and she's been involved in a ton of different productions. But I the thing is that whenever I go there, I'm only there to see them. I'm not there to like be a tourist. I'm not a touristy type.
Ah, well, you can always find a musical near you.
Mm, that's true. Uh, this is not something I generally talk about, but in my high school days, I was in the theater department. I was in a production of West Side Story.
Oh, how did that go?
Uh, it was something of a mixed bag. I didn't do another musical after that. It wasn't my scene.
Ah, perfectly understandable.
Yeah.
I tried to be in a musical in elementary school and I got kicked out. I don't remember the reason why. It wasn't. I don't even think it was my fault. I just think I was too slow to pick up on stuff,
Yeah.
and I gave up, and then they kicked me out.
I've never heard of a someone in elementary school getting kicked out of anything before. Usually they would just let the kid like sit on stage and do nothing for the whole time.
I also had shitty teachers then too,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Oof. Uh, I mean, in multiple ways. Number one, they kicked you out, and number two, they obviously failed to teach you what you were supposed to do. Uh,
I was a slow learner back then.
yeah.
Still am, but
Hmm. I had difficulty when I was in grade school. I was smart, but I failed to ever read anything. I was always bad at reading. Like
oh, same.
I knew
I
how.
only
Oh, sorry.
no, I interrupted you.
Oh no, no, go finish your thought.
Oh, the only time I actually started getting into reading was in middle school.
Yeah, I was always bad at reading from day one. Oh no, wait. Actually, that's not true. I started out very good at reading. I learned to read by the time I was 2, but I
Damn.
I was only able to read short things. As soon as they got into like the longer things, I had trouble sort of getting into it in the first place. If I found a way to sort of start reading, I could just go all the way through. But anyway, so that was my trouble when I was in school. So
I just had dyslexia, so
hmm it
and depression.
it's funny. I know a lot of people who have dyslexia. I had no idea it was this common.
It's so common.
Yeah, uh, dyslexia and colorblindness. I know a lot of people who are colorblind. Not that it matters. Uh, anyway, uh, so uh, would you ever talk to a stranger unprompted in a public setting?
I did that so much as a kid. I did it ridiculously as much as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I would just go up to a random kid and talk random adult,
Mm-hmm.
like stranger, and talk about my brother being in trouble or something like that. Like I'm not embarrassed of myself because I was, autistic as a kid and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't understand how the world works even though I was told not to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't blame myself. I just glad nothing ever happened.
Yeah. Well, what about today? Do you talk to anyone unprompted today?
I do like streamers and stuff like that or like DMing people that I don't know.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't really know you all that much till the interview, but
Well, you can always talk to me. I'm pretty open about that.
exactly. But I don't take random friend requests unless it's on Twitter because I know most of the time those are scams. I
Yeah.
just want to see where they go.
I mean, someone will say hi to me on Twitter, and I'll say, I already know you're gonna try and sell me an art commission.
Yep, I got two funny ones. So I was talking to someone for a bit and I told them that hey, after they finally got to the oh, I'm interested in commissioning your character as as this way or whatever. And I'm like I don't have money first off because I'm saving for model stuff,
Mm.
right? And rebranding everything. I still have to pay for certain things like I forget the word. I need to get a banner. That's
Hmm.
one of the things I need to get.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't have money for it. And two, I'm not. And fan art is always welcome. Giving them an out so they can just stop, and they never stop.
Yeah,
But
no, you unfortunately you gotta be direct with those people.
yeah, and one of them, I told them I don't have the money, and they're like, "Oh, I can consider it a commission." I'm like, this isn't how it works, right? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. So they just gave up after that. And one time I told one no, and they just gave me a frowny face. And I said, "This is just hilarious. This is hilarious." And all they said is, "Would you like to see my portfolio?" Not sure where to go from there, and
I,
it's so fucking funny.
I I feel bad because a lot of them are they're just trying to make a little bit of money, but at the same time I'm like you got to learn to understand the word no.
Mm-hmm.
Just no, that's it. And then you move
Yeah.
on because you're trying to sell to someone who wants your services. Uh, anyway, uh which do you prefer, chess or poker?
Ooh, I'm not good at either, so chest.
Mm. Uh, which do you prefer, a home cooked meal or restaurant food?
Depends on the place, but usually home cook because I can make what I want instead of asking.
Mm.
I don't usually like asking to get things out of food.
And what's your favorite thing that you've ever cooked yourself?
Noodles.
Did just plain noodles?
Noodles with butter and cheese on it.
Nice.
Especially if it's the garlic butter.
Yeah, those are pretty good. They plain noodles, or I mean, with the other stuff on it, but They get kind of a bad rap, but I like them.
Mm. Yeah, it's my safe food, so that's why I like making it a lot.
Hmm. Uh, have you ever had a silly accident that makes you laugh in hindsight?
Not that I can think of.
Hmm. Uh, and what would your ideal vacation look like?
Away from my brother is all I'll say. Don't want to get into details of that.
Uh, Trust me, I understand. Um, you find $20 in the street. What do you buy with it?
Ooh. I would actually buy art with it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm addicted to getting art of my characters.
Nice. Do you have an artist you go back to all the time?
The person who made this character's design, Leia Art,
Mm-hmm.
she is reasonable in prices. Like, my character only cost I want to say $25
Mm-hmm.
for a full body, and it
Wow,
was very nice of her.
that's excellent.
The artist's name is Leia Egg. For any of those interested in commissioning her,
Hmm.
she is very reasonable with prices.
Hmm. Um, which is your favorite holiday and why?
Christmas, because I can give gifts, like have more of an excuse to give gifts.
Hmm. I
It's my love language, so
I agree with you 100%. I love Christmas for the exact same reason. People are like, I like to get stuff, and I'm like, I like to give stuff. I must be weird.
I mean, I like getting stuff all the same, but just seeing people happy with the gifts I got them just makes my day.
Yeah. Uh, so, if you could wake up with one talent tomorrow, what would it be?
Definitely sewing, like a better talent at sewing, so that way I can start selling online stuff. I'm still a beginner, so
So, are you looking to start like an Etsy kind of business?
yeah, if I had the ability to do so.
What would you sell?
VTuber cosplays, actually.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, would you make like just like outfits, like dresses or something like that?
I would make outfits like dresses, but I would also make alternative outfits because I know a lot of VTubers have alternative outfits. So I would be focusing on, instead of the main outfits, I'd be focusing on the alternatives, unless they don't have alternatives.
Well, well I'm just curious. Why would you go for the alternative outfits as opposed to the main ones?
Because even though the mains are popular, a lot of people like the alternative outfits and actually like draw them and stuff. So why not give them a chance as well, you know?
Well, I'm a little. What's the I should say what's the difference between the main outfit and the alternative outfit, like functionally?
Most people cosplay as the main outfit instead of the alternates because some people like Iron Mouse, they have so many alternative outfits.
Oh, okay.
It's better to pick one than multiple, but some people like the alternates more.
Hmm. So, if you could talk to a historical figure, who would it be?
Hmm. John F. Kennedy?
Really?
Like, he seems like, even though he messed up sometimes, he seems like a decent person to have a conversation with. Whether our opinions would be different,
Hmm.
because, times are different now.
It's an interesting choice for sure. I'm from southern New Hampshire. The closest big city to me is Boston.
Mm.
So that's where he's from. So there are a lot of there's a lot of talk about the Kennedy family around this area.
Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah. He seemed like an all right fella though. I
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard very much from. I too have differences with some of the policy that he went for, but
We're all gonna have differences of policies. Let's be real here.
of the people in his family, he at least to me seemed like the most decent.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm not going to talk about Ted. Uh, uh, so, what's a TV show you felt deserved another season?
Gotta be anime, and it's gotta be Sunday Without a God or Saturday. I forget which one. I always get that mixed up.
Hmm.
It only has one season to it, and I really like it.
Hmm. And what's that about?
Sunday or Saturday?
Yeah.
Sunday. I think it's Sunday. Sunday Without a God is about a little girl gravedigger.
Oh wow.
And basically, nobody can die because God has given up on the world
Mm-hmm.
and gave everyone one last wish. And most people wished to never die. Their bodies still rot, but they continue on living. So in order to end it because heaven is overseeing its limit of how many people can be in it
Mm-hmm.
in the world. Um Basically, you need to be buried by a gravedigger. And it should be impossible for the original her mother, who was a gravedigger, to give birth
Mm-hmm.
because it's not in their programming, literally biological programming.
Mm-hmm.
But she was actually able to do it and give birth to a little girl.
Hmm.
And the story is based on her and the people she meets outside of her village.
Hmm. That's a very unique concept.
I believe there's manga on it.
Hmm. Uh, do you collect anything?
Dice, D&D dice,
Mm-hmm.
when I can afford it, which is never. I only get gifted it,
I
but I
love
collect it.
I love seeing videos of like people making custom dice, and it's like making jewelry. Uh, and I always wonder how the heck does anyone afford any of these things? It must be $1,000.
Yeah, one of the dice that I got from my fiance was like $80.
Wow. So do you have like a big bin full of the things?
I just have them sprued about. I need to get a place to put them.
Nice. Uh.
I also collect plushies
Mhm.
because childhood things, it's comforting.
Yeah. Uh. And my final question of the interview: what smell reminds you of home?
Definitely wood burning.
Mm.
Because growing up, we didn't have a fireplace.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we did. We had a fireplace, we didn't have a heater.
Mm.
The heater broke.
Yeah.
So during wintertime, we would light a fire, and sometimes I couldn't sleep because insomnia
Mm-hmm.
kicked in after a while,
Yeah.
which I still deal with to this day. But, anyways, off topic. Uh,
But yeah, I had a neighbor who had a fire stove. I'm in New England. Fire stoves are pretty common. Or or sorry, wood stoves. I mean, not fires. Fire stoves. But yeah, you go into he liked to cut down trees right in his backyard, and he would store the wood in his basement, and it got to the point that he wanted to move, and he had so much wood that he wasn't able to go through it all, and it was such good quality because it had been sitting around for so long. There was no moisture in it at all.
Impressive.
Yeah.
We put wood, so we couldn't put wood inside our house, but there was a line of they're not called Christmas trees, but you know the trees that people put up on Christmas and stuff like that. Pine trees. There we go.
Yeah.
We had a line on them, so we just put wood in one specific place in order to, and then we would get out during winter time.
I used to think pine trees were great. Now I view them kind of like massive weeds. If there's ever a storm around, they're the first trees to fall and knock out power lines.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Thank you very much for doing this interview. It's been a pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're watching from the audience, you can find link to Ember Tale's socials in the description. I'll also be putting hyperlinks in the chat if I have time, because I'll forget until the very last second, but I'll try.
Of course, that's how it usually works.
Yeah. But yes, thank you again for coming out. And I was your host, Jack Jinseki, and joining me today was Ember's Tale. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.